You know, I always love days like these because they're just great. You know, you got new content from multiple multiplayer games. You know, it's after the holidays, so everything's kind of kicking back in motion. And thankfully for both Apex and Overwatch, we just got a bunch of new stuff. So hopefully it'll be a good time to be a multiplayer gamer at the moment. But for right now, let's just focus on Overwatch and talk about these patch notes. Because these patch notes are a lot more extensive than I thought they would be. It covers a lot of things that I didn't expect to be covered, and at the same time makes changes that I didn't really think were going to be coming this season. So yeah, let's talk about Season 3, Overwatch 2. And I'll just go over the patch notes the way they appear on the blog post, so that way, you know, it's that way you can just read along while I'm talking about them. I'm probably going to not talk so much about every single one of them, because honestly, they don't really have that much to talk about. But the ones that are actually worthy of talking about, I'll probably talk about extensively. Hopefully what I have to say does spark conversation down in the comment section. You know, it's going to be pretty exciting to see all these changes and all this stuff that is brought in with this new season. So if you really want something more like in-depth, more analytical, but more in a technical sense from somebody who actually knows what they're talking about, you got CarQ, you got Flats. But for me, this is going to be more of the health, the state of the game kind of thing, you know? Do I think that these balance changes are going to be great for the long run, or do I think that they're going to hurt the game in the long run, you know? And that's what we're going to talk about. I'm honestly excited. Let's look at these patch notes. So the first one that kind of comes out of left field for me, at least, you know, is Ana's nerf. I personally don't think that Ana required a nerf to her biotic grenade. I think her biotic grenade at the moment was pretty alright, in an okay position. Of course, the nerf really isn't that substantial. It's only half a second, so, I mean, it's not going to be that big of a deal. However, I mean, in a game that is as fast-paced as Overwatch 2, half a second is quite a long time. Still though, it's probably just, you know, a way to reel her back in just a little. Maybe they just felt that 4 seconds was just too much time and that half a second really was just overbearing. I personally didn't really feel it, but at the same time, I don't really play against Ana. But more than likely, if I am playing against an Ana, we usually have a Kiriko on our side. I mean, Kiriko is still very powerful with her cleanse, so her biotic grenade really isn't that impactful, but of course that could just be entirely because of Kiriko. So maybe this is so that way when Kiriko's not in the playing field, Ana's purple isn't overbearing. Because biotic grenade is still powerful as it is, you know, it's still powerful because it just blocks healing. And in a game like Overwatch 2, where there's not that much, you know, shield, you have to depend on cover a lot more, either that or just sightlines, then yeah, I can see how purple can be a very powerful tool. Of course, we don't really see it as much because of Kiriko, but you know what? Maybe this is actually a better change in the long run. I really don't see it. I think that it wasn't really that bad, but you know what? Let's put some faith in Blizzard. So next we have is Brig, and this one was interesting, you know, the fact that she now has kind of a burst healing now with her little health packs or whatever. Sure, they heal less over time, but in the burst, it heals, you know, a pretty decent amount, 25 health, not too much, and at the same time not a lot by any means, but this does seem to be kind of a good way to balance her compared to every other healer in the game, because that burst healing could be a nice deciding factor. I mean, because when you're playing as Brig, you kind of want to have a way to kind of save your teammates without having to put yourself into the battle itself. Because otherwise, you're going to have to start whacking the enemy if you want any kind of burst healing. Her previous pack didn't have that burst healing potential, so now she does. So it's a good way to kind of save people, or you know, at least give them a nice buffer kind of in a short time span, you know, so something to help sustain. And I think that's a pretty good direction. I really do hope that they don't, you know, continue buffing Brig, because honestly, if it wasn't for the dive meta that is present in Overwatch 2, then you're gonna have a really powerful Brig, and I really hope that doesn't happen, you know, as the seasons go on, because I feel like we're gonna get a little bit nerfs on any kind of dive character, because that does seem to be the, you know, the overwhelming meta with, you know, pros and the higher skill tiers. But again, you know, that's just something we're gonna have to see in time. Hopefully that doesn't happen. Hopefully Brig stays in a pretty good position, that she doesn't become another overpowered character or something, you know, because of the fact of another meta that was just overbearing, but now that that's taken away, that character is now the most powerful one, you know, kind of like the Hog situation. We're just gonna have to wait and see. Now this one is one that is a little bit controversial to me. It's a good overall balance change, but the one part that kind of gets me, but you know what, let's wait for that. First of all, Guardian Angel cooldown's been increased, and holding backwards is not as powerful as it was before. Thank fucking Christ. Mercy's movement as it is right now is one of the most annoying things. It isn't as powerful as, as she's unkillable or anything, but I do think that it is one of the most unfun parts of Overwatch 2 at the moment. So thankfully, lowering it down just a little, just a little. I think that's pretty good. Now, to compensate for that, of course, they changed her healing. She now heals a lot less on standard conditions. However, if her allies are below 50%, she can heal them a lot faster. Now, all right, okay, they took away one annoying factor, at least not completely, but then gave her now another annoying factor. And that's the fact that she can now pretty much just kind of like tank characters against enemies who don't have high burst damage. And so now what I feel like I'm going to be seeing a lot in the battlefield is, all right, I'm going to try to kill this one person. I'm going to try to kill this one person that's of decent health. Uh-oh, wait a minute. They're below 50% health. What is the Mercy going to do? Oh, she's going to just save them without even trying. Just put some healing beam on them. Now I can't. Now I got to go focus on somebody else. Oh, wait, now they're below 50% health. Mercy flies over. Bam, healing. That's going to be annoying because even at her standard healing, she her patient was still, somewhat unkillable if you didn't focus on them or if you didn't have the burst damage potential. It's a little annoying. Not saying it's impossible. Again, the problem with Mercy isn't the fact that she's powerful. It's the fact that she's annoying as fuck to fight against. It's just her concept in general is just annoying. Bringing down that annoyance would definitely make the game a lot more fun. However, of course, you have Mercy mains who are bitching. I'm sorry, you're not fun to fight against, all right? You're a goddamn mosquito. I don't give a fuck what it does to the environment. I want mosquitoes dead, dude. I fucking do. You're annoying as shit. And the other part is, the sympathetic recovery where she does heal based on how much she's healing other people. All right, that's actually a pretty decent design decision for, Mercy. She's not getting free heals anymore because her passive has been removed. Instead, she's getting healed based on how much she heals the other players. And I think that's a pretty good change. That's a decent change to just give out a good reward for healing. That's good. That's good. You know what? I consider that a good design decision. Do I think it's going to be balanced? I don't know. It is going to make it a lot more annoying. Again, Mercy is just an annoying character, and that's what she'll always be, unfortunately. So, of course, I'm not a big fan of it. However, I'll say that at least from a design position, it's a pretty good change. It's a pretty good change. It rewards healing for what it's worth. All right, thanks a lot, Blizzard, I guess. Next, we have Zenyatta. He gets 5 more ammo. Okay, he's a lot more deadly. That's pretty good. I'll consider that a good buff for those who still want to be that glass cannon. At least the cannon is more powerful. I mean, you're still very much, at the detriment of anybody who fucking dives you or, just straight up focuses you. You're still gonna die. But at the very least, you have a more capable fighting chance. Cassidy's changes is one of those that I am both happy and disappointed with. I am happy because he's getting back his power of being this hit scan character that's really good at medium range. He is one of the more skill-based characters in the game, regarding aiming, and I think that's pretty good. He's decent, he's got good damage. It's all hit scan, you gotta aim well, and you're rewarded for aiming well, and now he's gonna be able to do more efficiently at longer ranges. I mean, it's only 5 meters, but hey, it's fucking something. Now, the part that I'm disappointed with is the fact that they didn't change his grenade at all. Okay, his grenade is still annoying as fuck, and I think it's a little bit overpowered. I feel like that damage should be reeled back in just a little, so that way it's no longer kind of like a super fucking spammable weapon. Or maybe the cooldown has to be increased. I don't know. Just, you can't be both, a very heavy hitter from mid-range and also have that fucking grenade. I think that's bullshit. Combat role change is also interesting. I don't know if that's going to be particularly useful, but at the very least you will no longer be blocked by the enemy. So overall, good change, a little disappointing. Now we're on to Junkrat. Understandable, he shouldn't be able to one hit from a very decent range based on his concussion mine. His concussion mine having fall off and now suffering from greater fall off because of the damage reduction is understandable. I feel like Ana mains can rest easy just for a little bit longer because they won't be snuck up upon, by a Junkrat going, around the enemy and then just one-tapping the Ana with a grenade and a concussion mine. I think removing Junkrat's potential there is very much understandable. He's already a good spammer, no need to give him a one-hit. Soldier 76's buff was one that I didn't see coming, but at the same time, I do think it's well deserved. He was getting power creeped by Sojourn because his ultimate had been destroyed pretty much. I mean, the fact that now he has to deal headshots to do anything with his fucking rifle, his ultimate, his visor, is bullshit. I mean, his old one was fucking great, now it's kind of shit. Thankfully, though, now we have a buff here that will make Soldier a lot more controllable. Anybody who played Soldier before really well is now going to be able to dominate with him, and anybody who was having trouble with Soldier is now going to be able to play well. Soldier's going to be a lot more consistent, and I think that's pretty good. I feel like Soldier is one of the more fair heroes. I understand that he might be a little bullshit, by being able to flank so often and run away and has decent health. However, I don't think he's that powerful in the grand scheme of things. He doesn't have that burst potential. But at the same time, I do think that he's a very good oppressor as far as suppressing fire goes. And I'm also glad that his buff actually indirectly buffs his ultimate. So, it's a great time to be a hit scan character. Not so great of a time to be an Ana, because while Junkrat did lose his one-hit potential, guess who got a buff? Sombra did. One of the most fucking annoying characters in the game got a buff with her machine pistol, now doing a little bit more damage, and now her health pack hack duration now lasting 15 more seconds. That all I gotta say is, dude, fucking rip Ana, dude. Honestly. Fuck, man. Fuck, My support friends are not gonna be happy. But, were they ever happy? Who knows? In the grand scheme of things, Sombra's change really isn't that impactful to the game, but I do feel that support mains are gonna be suffering from this, specifically Zenyatta and Ana. Everybody else kind of doesn't matter because they either have good movement or they counter Sombra in some way. Torb's turret getting less health is, I think, a pretty okay change. It does make it a little bit shitty when he does spam his turrets all the time. However, it's one of those things where I didn't really think about it, honestly. I was like, all right, really? Was this really necessary? It kind of came out of nowhere. It's just a slight nerf. I don't think it's going to be that impactful to Torb's regular play. He still has a very powerful primary and a very powerful secondary fire. So I think it's going to change his gameplay that much? No, it'll make his turret less oppressive, and that's always a good thing since there's less shields. So, you know what? I think it's a good change overall. I don't know if it was necessary. And next we have Widowmaker. Widowmaker got nerfed 200 to 175. Glass cannon. It doesn't make any fucking sense why somebody like Zenyatta would have the same health as Widowmaker, but have to kind of dedicate themselves to the front lines, while Widowmaker can stand all the way back there, deal one tap damage from across the map, and still have 200 health to her name. That seemed a little bullshit. Thankfully, that is going down, so hopefully now, once you go monkey, you're actually going to be able to kill her a lot quicker than before. Not much to say other than fucking finally! Orisa got a nerf, which involves her primary fire. She is now no longer as effective on medium range. I think that's honestly a good change. She is pretty powerful and her damage does reflect that. However, while I do think it's a good balance change, I don't think it's healthy for the Orisa player. Why? Because Orisa's fucking boring, alright? I think Orisa's fucking boring. Her changes were good. They made her a lot more fun compared to before. However, she is still very much boring. Just having to deal cooldowns. I don't think that Orisa is a fun character whatsoever. She is heavy. She is heavy from TF2. And while heavy from TF2 is, not as powerful as Orisa, it's still that same thing where you're just kind of holding the primary fire and just firing, and then with Orisa, you're just managing cooldowns. And do I think that's fun? Not really. Her spear does add a little bit of depth to her gameplay, but overall, I just don't think she's fun. And now that she doesn't have that much damage to her, I really don't think I'm going to be playing her as much, Personally, I don't think Orisa is that fun of a character, so I just think that this change might be negative. Healthy overall, negative to Orisa players. Ramatra's ultimate has been nerfed. Instead of it lasting forever based on how many people are in his ultimate, now it just decreases in time. Okay, it lasts up to 20 seconds. Cool. I wanted, at least a damage nerf on the ultimate itself. I think it deals a little bit too much AoE damage. I also think the damage resistance that he got from his block was a little bit stupid, because then he could just block, tank the damage, but still have his ultimate running. Sure, it doesn't allow him to chase down the enemy. However, not the greatest change in the world, though. I think that his ultimate is overpowered because of other reasons. However, Blizzard doesn't seem to see that. So maybe this will be enough to, bring down his power. We're just going to have to wait and see. Next up, we have some good fucking changes here. Reinhardt, cooldown reduced from 8 to 7 for his charge. Fire Strike going up to 100 damage. 2 Fire Strikes at 100 damage each. Being able to just fucking delete squishies with ease. Hell yeah. Shatter, direct hit damage reduced. Alright, that's not really what we use it for. Knockdown duration increased. Let's fucking go. And his Rocket Hammer Impulse reduced from 10 to 6. I think the reason why that will be a lot more useful is the fact that you don't have to fucking swing your hammer all around to hit everybody. Now they're going to be a lot more consistent, a lot more predictable where they're going to be. Overall, fuck yeah. Let's fucking go Reinhardt mains, or at least a former Reinhardt main. Right now, I am in love with Junker Queen because I find her gameplay a pretty good substitute for Reinhardt. But you know what? I think this might inspire me to go back to Reinhardt for a bit, just the fact that he looks like a very potent, and his gameplay was already fun, so fuck it, let's fucking go back to the Reinhardt. Hell yeah. Next up, we get Roadhog, who gets 8 seconds for his whole hog. I don't know about that. I don't know about that, Chief. I guess, increases his potency, at least from previously, since he did get hard nerfed. Do I like it? Hell no. I think that is a very dumb change, but you know what? We're just going to have to wait and see how that goes. Winston's barrier projector was decreased by 50 damage. I do think that his shield was a little bit, annoying to fight against. However, I don't think that this is, the best change. I didn't feel it. Of course, I could be wrong, but, I feel like Winston kind of needs the barrier. It doesn't last as long anyways. So I do think that this might be, a step in the wrong direction, but I don't think it's going to be significant enough to matter, but maybe in the long run, we're going to start feeling it. And I feel bad for Winston mains, man, because honestly, they don't really get that much of a spotlight. They're a more team focused kind of character compared to everybody else. So, it's just a little bit saddening to see a gameplay style go away because of, it's a different play style. Winston needs his teammates, and you're really not going to get that through matchmaking. You get what I mean? And I think ball mains are going to be very happy. I don't really care, aside from the fact that you are now a lot more survivable. You are annoying. However, I don't think you're as annoying as, fucking Mercy, because you have a giant hitbox. You take a lot of damage anyways. So, I think these changes are all right. You get both armor and shield, so now you're able to regenerate on your own. You don't need, a Mercy up your ass the whole time. And now you're allowed to be a lot more offensive because your pile driver has a lot less cooldown. 2 seconds might not seem like a lot, but in the grand scheme of things, again, 2 seconds is a lot of time. You know what? I think these are going to be fine. I don't think these are going to make Wrecking Ball overpowered. Maybe they might make, the one trick overpowered. The Wrecking Ball one trick just fucking dominate players. Maybe we'll see a fucking one tricker on top 500, making YouTube videos just like with Zebra. So, that'll be fun to watch. I'm sure I'll get that in my recommendations. And finally, from what I can see, my queen herself is getting 25 more HP. I think Junker Queen is in a pretty good spot right now, and the fact that she got 25 more HP is just fantastic. I feel like Junker Queen is one of the better characters to play because she is a lot of fun. She might not be the most team-based. Her shout does give her teammates a little bit of fucking, temporary health in order for them to survive, and I've used it in such a way to save some of my homies. However, regardless, even if she isn't the best character, she is still one of the most fun. She rewards skill, she rewards crosshair placement, she rewards throwing your knife, getting used to your knife projectile, she rewards being able to engage and disengage correctly. She is the Reinhardt queen, If Reinhardt's the king, Junker Queen's the queen, you know, and that's why she has the name. I think that, you know, Reinhardt and Junker Queen should be, you know, the best tanks in the game because they are a lot of fun to play and they're not as bullshit. Of course, others can beg to differ, and I'd really like for you to debate me in the comment section, but you know what? Fuck it. You know, that's my opinion. That's what I'll keep it with. And real quick, let's just go over some of the kind of game-wide changes. You know, all heroes, the charge retained, you know, from your ultimate when you switch characters is now gone from 30 to 25%. This is a good change because of a flats theory where, you know, if you lose the first fight, you basically win, because if you lose the first fight, guess what you can do? You can just switch to a character that's good against the enemy characters, and bada bing, bada boom, you win the second fight because you get to retain your ultimate charge. All right? Yeah, you see how that's actually a good change. And next is the fact that ultimate costs have been reduced or increased overall many characters. I can't really comment on that. I don't know Overwatch enough to see if or give my opinion on that because I don't understand the timings as well as other people. You want to know what timings are and how good they are to the overall game? Fucking go check out Flats or CarQ, not me. As far as the overall health of the game goes, I feel like they're making good steps in the right directions and at least smaller steps in the wrong direction. So overall, it's a net good positive. I hope the game continues, you know, these big balanced patches because I feel like, you know, that they're getting better at this. I feel like they're getting better at this. I mean, you could disagree or agree, you know, down in the comment section, however you feel like. But anyways, I think that'll be it for today. This video has gone on for 20 minutes talking about patch notes. That just goes to show you how significant these are. The fact that this new season, even though we're not getting a new hero, we are getting good amount of changes, and I feel like that's good for the game. Is it a coincidence that also Apex decided not to do a new hero? I don't know, maybe. The fact that these are coming so close together, you know, it's a really good time to be a player, especially an Overwatch 2 player. And I really do hope that this next season isn't bullshit, and hopefully there aren't any, you know, huge fucking game-breaking bugs or anything. Hopefully this next season runs pretty good. I'm really excited to see what's coming up. Anyways, I think that's it. Thank you so much for watching. If you found this video interesting, like it if you like it, dislike it if you disliked it. If you'd like to see more content just like this, make sure to subscribe. And if you'd like to support this channel, I do have a Patreon in the description. Thank you so much to all my fellow patrons, and I will talk to you guys later.